This essay example, as well as thousands of others, is available in text format on our website for free and without registration. Simply Google Ivy Panda Free Essays.
Introduction. Ever since the late Roman state, the Roman world has had serious political and social problems that led to the fall of the Roman Empire. The Germanic invasions, especially those that took place in the 5th century, contributed significantly to bringing in internal cracks in the Roman Empire. These internal crises led to the collapse of the political unity in the Roman Empire, which was replaced by the disintegration of 5th century Europe into various Germanic territories. Discussion. Regardless of their differences, Romans knew and lived well with Germans even before the 2nd century. For these reasons, Romans allowed Germans to cross the border to live and work in the Roman Empire as slaves and farmers as well as soldiers. This was a kind of mutual relationship whereby the Germans liked the Romanic civilization, and on their part, the Romans liked the Germans for their strength and values. The situation took a different turn at the start of the 3rd century when the Germans invaded the northern Rhine and Danube. The climax was in the 4th century when a German tribe, Huns, moved deep into the Roman Empire territory and settled in the Danube. As a result, they forced Visigoths to migrate to the east of the empire. Visigoths were very important to the strength of the Roman Empire's military. As a result of unbearable conditions from the Roman administration, the Visigoths revolted and conquered the Romans and killed their Emperor Valens in Adrianople in the late 4th century. After their success in their battle, the Visigoths advanced and took control over Greece. Operating from Greece, the Visigoths went on to conquer Italy and took over Rome in the early 5th century. Afterward, they advanced and settled in Aquitaine, where they formed a Germanic territory on the Roman Empire's soil. They further advanced their rule to Spain, where they established another kingdom at Toledo. Huns, on the other hand, did not stop at the Danube. They also expanded their rule and took control over Central and Eastern Europe. In the period between 451 and 452, the Huns went on and conquered Gaul and Italy with the help of a combined force of Roman and German armies. However, the Huns' empire collapsed at the hands of Chalons in 453 after their leader's death. The advancement of the Visigoths' rule in Italy led to the shifting of armies from Britain and the Danube to fight for Italy. This, in essence, weakened the defenses and, as such, made it easier for the Germanic tribes to move through the weakly protected frontiers and take control over nearly all the west of the Roman Empire. Overpowered, the Romans were not able to fight their invaders, and this led to the fall of the Western Roman Empire. The Burgundians also invaded southeastern Gaul, and Burgundies who are currently living there is a clear mark of a Germanic settlement. On the day that marked the collapse of the western part of the Roman Empire in 476, Odovacer, who was then the German leader, deposed Augustulus, the last emperor, and founded an independent kingdom in Italy. Later, in 493, Odovacer was conquered by the Ostrogoths under the leadership of Theodoric, who took control over Italy. A German tribe that moved to other territories and founded a long-lasting presence in those territories was the Franks. The reason for their success in moving to new territories was that, unlike other Germanic tribes, they never abandoned their homeland. After moving into the Lower Rhine in the late 5th century, the Franks went on and took control over northern Gaul. Under the good leadership of Clovis, they built a strong army that overthrew Rome's last empire in Gaul. Under continued good leadership, they advanced and took control over Western Europe and made it a unity. In the last part of the 5th century, Roman control over Western territory was over, as more than half the territory was under the control of the Germanic peoples. There was a shift of power from Romans to Germans, who moved into the territory and founded autonomous kingdoms there. The Visigoths settled in Spain, the Burgundians occupied Provence, the Ostrogoths took control over Italy, and the Franks settled in Gaul. Although Germanic tribes were comparatively small in numbers, they easily invaded and conquered Western Europe due to several factors. One of these factors was that they had stronger armies than the Romans. Moreover, the Roman frontiers were also poor, and the Germanic armies received little, if any, resistance from the Roman people. Even though the Germanic tribes led to the collapse of the Western Roman Empire, imperial rule went on in the East. In 527, under the leadership of Emperor Justinian, the East started a battle from Constantinople aimed at defeating Germanic peoples and, as such, taking back the Western territories. In 533, the East military took control over the Vandals in Africa, from where they went on, and took control over Italy. But their success was temporary, since a German tribe by the name of Lombards invaded Italy, took over the northern plain, and founded Benevento and Spoleto. Conclusion. In conclusion, the Germanic invasions can be attributed to the slow disintegration of the social, economic, and political standings of the Roman Empire, which led to its fall. In the 5th century, all western territories of the Roman Empire and Italy fell under the control of invading Germanic tribes. Even though the eastern territories survived, as a result of the invasions, the entire Roman Empire started a wide range of political and social changes since the 3rd century. Some of the transformations included the rejection of Romanic traditions, a shift toward autocratic governance, and the adoption of Christianity, among others. Did you like this Germanic invasions and the fall of the Roman Empire sample? To get more works like this one, make sure to check out the free database of academic paper examples at ivypanda.com. You will find thousands of samples for all your study needs, without even having to register.